Oh boy. Saturday night's main event. 39. Paint by the numbers. I don't really need to do some long monologue about how great this was or how bad it was. It was paint by the numbers. We already know for almost a year now. Honestly, we already know what we've been getting. We've been getting generally this. Baseline. That's what we've been getting. Nothing spectacular, nothing unique, nothing original, much. I mean, we have had some moments, yes. But this is paint by the numbers. Why? They're going to Saudi Arabia in the next few hours. They will be boarding a plane after it's all done. They'll be packing everything up, and they will be flying their ass to the Middle East. And as far as they're concerned, they want to give us just enough. There's only one thing that was unique on the show, and the rest was simply what was expected. And to be honest, yes, the fight in the very beginning with Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu, it was alright. I gotta say this about Jacob. Jacob, I've only seen him a little bit because I don't really review Raw or SmackDown anymore, and a couple of times I have missed the shows. I try to watch them, so at least I know what's going on in WWE. But admittedly, on and off, I missed more than a few shows, and I missed when he returned. So when I finally got a chance to see Jacob, the boy is cut. The boy has got, he didn't have no abs. He got himself some shit. You see these ding, 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 bang, bang, bang. Yes, he still got a bit of a stomach, but you can tell he worked to get those abs under that belly. But what are we really looking at when it comes to Jacob Fatu dealing with not Roman Reigns, not Solo Sikoa, but Cody Rhodes? What are we really getting in a feud between him and Cody Rhodes? Yes, it was a good fight. I don't know if it's going to be something good for Cody or Jacob. It feels like it's a holding pattern that they just want to give them both something to do until they have anything or something or anything for them. Because I feel like, this is me, I don't think they're going to have anything for them to do except fight one another until Elimination Chamber. At least then you can try and write something that will lead from Elimination Chamber to Elimination Chamber to whatever is in between WrestleMania, if there's anything, because there's possibly nothing there. But between Elimination and let me give it to you like this. The Raw and SmackDown will be what's going to build up for WrestleMania for both of them. Because that's what I think they want to do, at least until you have something for them. And you're going to say, dude, they're not going to stretch that far. We are talking about Silver Lake WWE, where Mr. Paul Levesque is going to follow orders. Now, mind you, I am not, and I'm making it very clear, again, I'm not. I am not saying that he's just going to do the simple stuff because it's much more easy for him, because it is. But corporate is also in his ear. That is the deal. This is what people don't want to hear. This is what probably JD's not getting. It's about just Alex or Solomonster. He's been told, I'm sure of it. Because the way corporate works, it's like this. They're number one right now. And as far as they're concerned, corporate is seeing this at Silver Lake, because we're not talking about Ari Emanuel. We're not talking about Nick Khan. We're not talking about the Mr. Dwayne Johnson. This is Silver Lake. And Silver Lake is going to tell them all, hey, are you saving money? And going to say, yeah, we're saving money. We want more money saved. We don't want to see so much stuff that's got to be devoted for writers or anything else. Save us some more money. Now, so that goes to Ari, which goes to The Rock, which goes to Nick, and that goes to a little bit of Paul and his writing team, which Ari's own daughter, I believe she's still on it, and she's going to go, okay, this is what my dad wants. How can we make it work? And Paul's going to say, well, we want to try and do this. No, this is what my dad wants. He wants you to stop writing so much. Make it more simple so it can either save us some money or make us some money. We want more merchandise moved. We want more merch moved, but we don't want to spend so much money on writing and also doing more work. So that's what we get. And not saying that Triple H wouldn't want to do it either. It's what you got to understand, guys. Paul may love the wrestling business, but he is still working for the wrestling business. He's not working for Mr. McMahon anymore, his father-in-law. He is working for everyone else. So he's going to do what he's ordered to do. At least until he reaches a point where either his contract needs to be renewed and he says, look, give me more creative control and stop holding me back, or I'm out. That's if he does that. He may just renew and not say anything, just be a yes man. But it's how it feels. Next, the match I knew was not going to lead anywhere. Like all remaining three. You get the Women's Tag Championship. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, or Pop Rocks, as I called her, versus Io and Rhea. I'm not calling them Rio. I know I said it, but I'm not calling them that. I'd rather call them what they are. Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley. And this was not about them. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. They didn't matter. Their tag match didn't matter. You know what mattered? Raquel messing around, stopping Io, and grabbing a little bit of a Rhea Ripley, landing on the ref's back because she was right behind him, and then Io getting messed up. It wasn't about any of them. It was about when Stephanie Vaquer comes out, trying to attack her, and does attack her, when she should be jumping around like crazy to get her. Because the way you saw that little excursion between Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel Rodriguez, shouldn't you be seeing a little bit of Stephanie Vaquer jumping around, getting as much momentum as possible to whoop her ass? Because the only thing she did was just a couple of hits, and Raquel just caved. Look, I'm not against a Stephanie Vaquer. I'm not. I don't hate her, or even Raquel for that matter. But they're going by what they've been told. They said, make it look good. Make sure Raquel is not as strong as Stephanie now that she doesn't have a boot on her foot. And that's what we got. In the end, what did we get? We did not see anything different. Liv is the one who jobbed here. Because at this time, Roxanne's actually been rising quite nicely. I've always known that Roxanne was going to be a good worker and had a lot of charisma. Admittedly, it took a while because I wasn't sure about her. But by the time she turned heel in NXT and really showed that she can pull off storylines and have an attitude while doing it, she won me over. But now, her rise is quite substantial. They did not want her to get pinned here. They'd rather see Liv get pinned. They want to make Roxanne look as good as possible. And probably Liv's not having a problem with it, so that's what we get. And at one point, Io was bleeding from the mouth. I think she must have got popped in the lip. But I think that's it. I'm not sure when that happened. It just happened. The next match, which was only meant to make him look good and not meant to be something interesting, was Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ due to the fact of what's going on with Gunther. Or should I call him Walter? That's the only thing that's the most stupidest thing. He gets his music back. He still has the wall. But do I care about him as Walter or Gunther? I'd rather hear him being called Walter because he got more better cheers and boos at that point. But that's just me. He's not my favorite wrestler, but I'm going by what he looked like and how he was being received. Of course, they're not going to revert him back because they already made some really good money from the merch, so they're not going to switch him. They're just not. They're not going to switch him back. But let's make this clear. In Royal Rumble, we're getting the match of career. That's what this comes down to. There's no title versus career. There's no moniker against career. It's just a match for career. If you like that, it's not bad, but let me give it to you like this. I did not expect them to do it this soon. Now, I knew they were going to do it. Look, we all knew this. We all knew sooner or later they would do the John Cena bit. But the thing here is this. Honestly. Didn't you think it would happen later in the year? Not in a month, but in the year, somewhere. That someone would say, match me. If you want another match with me, put your career on the line. I would think it would be a little bit later, not a Royal Rumble. Now, we know AJ's not retiring. He's already said it. He's not retiring now. He'll end by the end of the year. And we know this. Because he made this announcement, it really makes it hard to believe that he could lose here. Now, if he did lose a Royal Rumble, I would be shocked. And the only way they can go around this is that he's in the ring with Gunther. He kicks him in the nuts and he says, fuck off. I'm not retiring because you cheated. That's the only way. Let's make this very clear. The only way that he can continue if he jobs at Royal Rumble and he's not retiring is that he gets in the ring, he's talking, you see Gunther comes to the ring after him on Raw, and he says, now you're ready to leave, and he goes up to him and says, you know what, you're right, I'm the old man, I'm stupid, let me shake your hand. He shakes his hand, and then he kicks him in the nuts, and he says, because you cheated, you bitch, I'm not retiring, I'm going to spend the last of my year making your life a living hell. That's the only way I will believe it. Now, was the match fine? It was all right. Admittedly, it was better than the WrestleMania match. And if you guys remember in 2018 when they had that match, it was not good. It was below average. I'm surprised it happened, but it happened. This match was better. Of course, AJ came. He won. They did the fist pump. They gave each other a hug, and that's it. Going to Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Final match. Let me give it to you like this in Montreal. Fans were hot. It was good. But let me give it to you like this. You have Trick Williams. Mr. Priest, Mr. Demon, Mr. Damian Priest, Mr. Randall Keith Orton, one of the Breakfast Club, as the Slug Daddy has always said. And then we got the one person, if he had not been there, I would have been interested to see. Well, look, Drew versus a Randy Orton would have been interesting. Drew versus a Damian Priest. Hell, yes, it's a repeat. But now it's for the title, which would have been all right. Drew versus Trick Williams would have been an interesting thing because he just started his run. I would not expect him to win, but it would be a good shine for him. But the minute you showed Sami Zayn, I knew 100% this was only to make Sami look good so he can go in the Royal Rumble. Have that match with Drew. Not because of story, because he's Middle Eastern. I'm sorry. This is not meant to be disrespectful. It's not meant to be prejudiced or racist. But how many times has anybody from the Middle East, just before they go there, has to win something or gain something just to go there and have that match or be in a match? Mustafa Ali multiple times had won and had that chance. Jinder Mahal had that opportunity, but it wasn't really about gender. It was more about because he was Indian, and even though it's not 100% in the Middle East, he's as close as they had. Anybody that is as close to Middle Eastern as possible has always had the opportunity when they go to Jeddah or any part of Saudi Arabia. And when I see him there, and yes, there was a story with him and Drew. We're not denying it. But did I actually believe that he was going to lose here? Did you actually believe he was going to lose here? No. And it's not about the match quality. The match was pretty good. There were a couple of times it was a little botchy. Yeah. And you could see at one point, Trick Williams who had grabbed Damian Priest and was walking around. You can see Trick talking to him with his head on his ear. And he wasn't hitting him to try and hide it, or at least let Damian be stunned or something. They were waiting for the next move together. And that was really telegraphed, and it sucked. But other than that, it was generally all right. It was a fine match, but it was not the point. It was, guess who is going into the Royal Rumble and going against the champion? Someone that we knew that is Middle Eastern, nothing against him, even though he's a blonde, or not a redhead. I don't care. I'm just being honest. I actually like Sami, but it's obvious. I would have rather seen Randy Orton or Damian Priest. Hell, I wanted Trick William to do it because that would have been something entirely different. Something different. No. Paint by the numbers. Very safe. I don't know about you. Nothing changed. But this is just me, and I hope you enjoy this. Please give me a comment below. Peace.